kids telling me about some stupid Army stuff. Which is what brings us here today.
Yes, so in honor of Veterans Day and our veterans, we're going to be talking about, I think it's sometimes referred to as like military corps.
Is it?
Or Army Corps. I think it might be, because I know there's like Norm Corps, but I think you can even like break down Norm Corps even more into like Army Corps or something. I don't know, it's something like that, just military inspired fashion.
Yeah, ever since after the Vietnam War, people kind of took to the streets in like their BDUs or just like their green jackets and stuff. Nonetheless, that fashion's always been there.
I think it has like such a crazy range too, like from BDUs that you get at like Army surpluses, which isn't that, but you know what I mean, like you get a BDU at Army surplus for like $10 or, you know, extremely low price, all the way up to the recent Kith and Greg Loren collaboration, which is like a couple $1,000s per
crazy
item.
Pieces.
From like actual Army boots to just like
to Yeezy boots. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm thinking, like all the way from Army boots to just like tonal outfits. Like tonal outfits have been inspired a lot by
the Army's uniforms. And when we say Army, my apologies, I mean like any branch. You know what I'm saying? I just happen to say Army because that's your boy's current employer.
It's a good generalization.
Yeah. I think some of the named brands that we see that a lot right now is Fear of God. Jerry Lorenzo's been doing that for a minute now. Yeezy for sure, but I like what Jerry Lorenzo does because he has a pair of pants that he talks about on an Instagram page that says, you know, these are made from old Vietnam era laundry bags and tents. And I think that's super cool because not only is it taking, you know, like it's not only taking the inspiration and influence of military, but it's also using its old recycled like, you know, materials. I think that's super cool.
Yeah. So yeah, before we like get too in depth, just point out like two major figures in the like military wear industry game, you know, some fashion icons. I'd say Shia and Kanye are probably like the most prominent ones that you see rocking military stuff or military inspired stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say Shia like really grandfathered it in with like a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, Shia popped right there.
I don't know, kind of like a good place to start is like the most basic stuff I think, which is Yeezy season. Mm-hmm. And just like the tonal outfits that you see, like you see a lot of stuff like all tan or all
like light green, that's for sure.
Which, you know, it's obviously not like an actual military uniform, but just like the aspect of it being all one uniform color gives it the uniform idea, which is probably drawn upon from the military and stuff like that, especially when you look at the color palette that they use.
Without doubt. I kind of like that because like if you ever see a Yeezy fashion show, they do stand in a position of that, of like, I wouldn't say the position of attention or whatever. They do stand in a uniform manner, and I think that's like super minimalistic, which is what the Army kind of is, what they want. They want everyone to have no sense of individuality. It's like that sense of the uniform, and when you do in that uniform, it's supposed to make a statement, not you, the individual.
So next talking point, I guess, just move up on the outfit. Start with some boots, especially with Shia, like I was talking about. You see him rocking the SFBs, the special field boots. He made those really popular.
But he also rocked actual boots. Like
actual boots?
Boot boots. Like boots from like the Marine issued boots and the Army issued boots. He's been rocking those for a minute.
The SFBs are Army issued though.
Army allowed. They're not Army issued, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know there's like obviously a difference, but like I'm cutting all that. They're both allowed, so like you have people in the Army wearing them, which is what, for this purpose of the video, we're trying to.
But I'm giving Shia credit though. I'm giving him even more credit because he's wearing boots that like people in the Army try not to wear. He's wearing them on a regular basis. I think that's like super cool.
But anyway, from there we see a lot of companies branching off. You see a lot of companies on their own just making these Army allowed boots, like you were talking about. Nike has SFB, I know Under Armour has some, Reebok has them, Oakley.
Which is odd.
And then from Nike, you see they actually turned in their Air Force Ones into a boot, which I think is really cool. You have like the really tall ones, which are zips.
And like the little like cord that they have around them too.
Yeah, a lot of them have the
survival cord that like people have like around their wrists.
Yeah.
In case it's like it's a 550 cord.
It's in the details, you know.
For sure.
I know we have like the Yeezys, which is another good example.
Without doubt, any boot that Yeezy kind of has, it even says like Yeezy military boot or Yeezy 950s, which is like a duck boot. but they have Army colors. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of cool.
So I think it's a little bit harder to say that pants are like military inspired, just because pants generally don't have like a huge range. So it's hard to, especially with like the military and stuff. Everything's, you know, like so minute. With pants already not having a huge range, it's hard to be like...
Especially for men's. Would you say that pants that are camouflage are not military inspired?
You could say that they are, but I'd just say that, you know, camo is kind of like a vague thing, and a lot of stuff is already camo. Just saying that a camo pair of pants are military inspired is, you know, less of an argument than like the actual boots that we just talked about, where it's like an obvious, you know...
Yeah, I mean pants.
Of it. I'd say just like more so maybe like the combat pant look is kind of the popular thing that you see. But yeah, moving on to tops and stuff, you see a lot of jackets inspired by the military. From BDUs to bombers even, you know.
Oh, bombers have always been in ever since World War II and Air Force pilots. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. That and aviators were like the look.
You see some like really expensive like high-end companies doing the like leather aviator jacket with the like sheesh fur.
Yeah, Sherpa like collar and stuff.
Yeah, but the prices for those get crazy.
Yeah, any clothing, to be honest, any clothing that's very utilitarian, that kind of almost correlates closely to any military-esque stuff.
Yeah. So another big thing would be the chest rigs. Do you want to talk about that?
That's a trend that I've only recently heard of.
I'd say it's been kind of like developing, if not like kind of developed for like the last year.
Like I think it's a cool fashion. Like I kind of want to get into that myself. I think that's super cool. I know Drake in particular always wears like vests at his concert. Any Scorpion show, if you guys want to waste money and go to one of those concerts, but you know, I guess, and they look like bulletproof vests. They look like vests that 50 would wear back in the early 2000s, and I think that's kind of cool. But it's definitely like, you know, military inspired.
All right. So lastly, we'll wrap this up with the with the Kith and Greg Loren collaboration.
Without doubt.
That actually is not released yet. This is a perfect example of just like taking military inspiration, and I'd say a lot of the stuff also in the military core streetwear that we see also incorporates distressed, or, you know, like kind of this rugged look, which is just, you know, kind of like an idea or a concept that you get along with military clothing.
Definitely. One thing I can talk about with that real quick is like men's boots. In the Army, if you see any kid with some nice fresh boots, it's because he hasn't been in the Army that long, you know? So with this kind of clothing, it gives you that feeling, that, you know, theory of a worn soldier, you know what I'm saying? When half these kids will buy this shit, it's fucking $2,000 pair of pants, like, you know damn well they're not spending any time in the field. So it gives the idea of that, right? That is what this clothing is about. That is what Army Corps, military corps is about, is to have that aesthetic, but also that feeling of, I am a rugged street soldier, you know what I'm saying? And hey, that's what's up, you know what I mean? And
street soldier.
Yeah, no, definitely street soldier.
But yeah, that kind of wraps it up. I'm a big fan of military core. I love the military inspired boots. I have a pair of SFBs, you know, bombers are dope. But yeah, I really like it. Shy is a big inspiration for me.
Yeah. Uncle Sam is a big inspiration. No, I'm playing. Kanye definitely. But I think that's one thing worth noting, you know? You buy a pair of boots, and then they're nice and clean, and then as the dirtier they get, the cooler they get. So it's such a cool thing in fashion.
Yeah, it's a win-win. Like, you buy the boots, and they're clean. It's like, all right, that's dope. Like, I got some fresh new boots. But, you know, you dirty them up, and it's like, that works too.
Exactly, man. That's the best thing about the military corps. If you were to wear some nice J's, man, how many dudes you know don't want to crease their shoes? You know what I mean? Yeezy guys don't want to wear them on the streets. They're like, oh no, one to rock, one to stock.
I saw this picture of this girl, like sidebar. I saw a picture of this girl posing. She was like crouched down, and her foot was like, you know, like this underneath her. And everybody's like, oh, like the comments were so funny.
That's one, I'm sure no one even cares, but two, it's like,
no, like
people do care.
All the comments are about that.
People do
how
care.
she looked,
but like so people shouldn't care, you know, it's in their shoes. But I guess for J's and stuff it's different.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of it is like, you know, the look you're going for. Like some people go for the distressed J's look. I think they've even made some. And then like with Off-White too, the deconstructed stuff is big, where it, like a worn pair of J's would actually look good with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much wrap it up there.
Fashion is a booming, and military stuff are just fucking parachuting, jumping in.
Yeah. Support the troops, especially today and tomorrow.
Yes, give haircuts, please, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy.
much.